As I'm sure you know, the Seattle Seahawks offense is one of the most popular, if not the most popular playbook in Madden 22. But a lot of players still struggle when you can shut down the bunch and the bunch tight end. In fact, one of the best offensive formations in this playbook is a formation that very few people actually use. So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys a 3-play mini scheme that you guys can run out of this formation when you guys are struggling with your main offense. Let's get into it. What is up, guys? Zan from the Zan Madden YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the gun tight slots in the Seattle Seahawks offensive playbook. Now, it is no secret that the Seattle Seahawks offense is the most popular in Madden 22, or certainly one of the most popular for its gun bunch formation. Now, last week with the title update that came out, you guys would actually be surprised to learn that the changes to the Madden NFL Live playbooks, which are actually only available in CFM and then also, I believe, regular team head-to-head, they actually added the single back bunch X nasty, which is my offense that I run, and you guys can get that entire offense on gridirongameplans.gg. That game plan on Gridiron has the single back bunch X nasty with its main under center look, as well as a package where I have a full scheme where I motion the running back and create empty bunch under center, which is really, really awesome. So you guys can go take a look at that. If Mutt ever gets the Madden NFL Live playbooks, this is going to be the most popular playbook. Honestly, it already is, but it'll be even more popular when that happens, if that happens in Mutt. But either way, today's video, we're going to be talking about the gun tight slots. So we're going to break down a little bit of a mini scheme here in this video. So I'm going to give you guys a recommended set of audibles. The purpose of this will be for you guys to audible out of your bunch or your bunch tight end into this, because this formation uses the same personnel, which is 1 running back, 1 tight end, and 3 wide receivers. So the audibles for this particular formation that we will use are going to be the wide receiver stick in out, the jet pass fake zone, bench, and PA flood shot. And that's it. That's really all you need. You probably are wondering why not have an actual run play for your running back. Truth be told, the run plays in this formation are not very good, with the exception of the one that I have set as an audible. We'll get to that here momentarily. Let's go ahead and take the field. The way that I'll recommend that you guys run this offense is with the running back to the wide side of the field. And my recommendation for this is to make sure that your best option to carry the ball is going to be in the slot. Now, when you run this formation and you flip it, the wide receiver and the tight end do not flip sides. So your other ball carrier that you're going to need to make sure that is solid is your tight end. So you're going to want a very physical after the catch style tight end. And that'll make sense here momentarily. I'm actually going to put OJ Howard because he's a lot faster than Gronk. But if you guys play Ultimate Team, obviously you guys are looking at guys like Vernon Davis, or honestly, there's a list of Mutt tight ends that are going to fit this bill for you. But you're definitely going to want somebody that is pretty shifty in the slot. So I'm going to put in Scotty Miller at this spot. And then in terms of your other receivers, I would recommend having some reliable catch and traffic targets, some downfield options for you. There's going to be a number of things that we're going to do in this scheme. So let's go ahead and get started here with the first play, which is going to be the jet pass fake zone. Now, you may have actually seen this being run this year a little bit. This was actually pretty good last year as well. The person who turned me on to this, believe it or not, was my own brother. Who actually played in squads, and his squad team ran this with basically, I want to say it was nasty streaks. It might have been nasty streaks, but they used blocking abilities on this, and they were getting some pretty insane blocking animations on this in a squads, but they were using a special motion, which is actually really slept on. If you guys are enjoying this free YouTube content, I would strongly urge you to go over to my strategy website. gridirongameplans.gg is your one-stop source for all things competitive Madden. Every week in our Vault Update, we take a look at the meta, or the most effective tactics available being used by pro players on the MCS circuit, breaking down not only how and why the pros do what they do, but most importantly, how you can counter those metas when you face them in online gameplay. On top of that, your subscription also includes any and every offensive and defensive game plan released on the website while your subscription is active, and access to our Discord server, where every single Wednesday, we have a live lab session covering the week's Vault content and any questions you guys have about Madden. So make sure you guys head over to gridirongameplans.gg. $9.95 per month unlocks the entire website. Let's go ahead and kind of show you what that motion is. So we'll go ahead and just run kind of like the nickel 245 odd here. I'm going to set kind of a variety of audibles for us. Let's go ahead and make sure that we have that meta pinch 2 in there. Let's make sure we have cover 4 drop. Cover 3 is fine. And then we'll also keep, let's keep a match coverage just for the sake of, you know, having something that beats cover 2, cover 3 match, and also the meta blitz. So let's go ahead and take the field here, and we'll start off with kind of like a cover 4 drop. Now, what's really cool about this jet pass fake zone is that it's quick. There's really no auto motion. It just snap the ball and go, right? So you have this run, and it's reliable to get yourself, you know, 4 to 5 yards if you just snap it. Obviously, it does go to the running back side, so it's kind of meshed with a little bit of a fake zone handoff to the running back to kind of hold the user's attention. But this isn't actually the best part about this. The best part about this particular play is actually the fact that because there's no auto motion, you can motion on it. So one thing that we're going to do in this scheme quite a bit is we're going to use motion of our outside receivers across the formation to create bunch style formations. So what we're going to do here with Godwin is we're just going to motion him across as a lead blocker. And then we're just going to simply snap the football. And then you see that gives us an extra body to that side. And if you can catch a better block than what I got right there, you can pick up even more yardage. So now you can see why we would use this with a really good after the catch tight end, somebody that has good speed, good break tackle, you know, stiff arm, or maybe spin move for you, and you'll be able to be off to the races. Now, you guys remember I did say that you can flip this formation and the tight end and the wide receiver don't flip. So this is why it's really important that you have kind of a shifty, you know, honestly, I'd probably put like a Tyreek Hill style player here. Or if you guys want to use big bodied receivers in Madden, if you guys play Ultimate Team, Brandon Marshall is a guy that I hand off a lot of jet sweeps to in the X Nasty offense that I run because I audible out into some other formations. And I have a very similar play to this that I run in my scheme. But, you know, you can get this big bodied receiver on the outside and Evans motioning across. He's going to be a physical blocker for you. And then you can kind of snap this ball and then, you know, pick your lanes and go. Now, again, depending on the coverage shell that you're calling on defense, you're going to block different players. So let's say, for instance, they're in that pinch 2 meta. A lot of players are obviously going to base the line and they're going to do, you know, this whole kind of offset and try to shoot the inside zone. There is no inside zone in this formation, but you're still going to see players that are going to be worried about it. So they're going to stand right here, obviously, with their user. And again, with this, you could go ahead and kind of attack. The cool thing about this is it's going to be tough for them to flip which side they're usering on because only one player users in this particular, or I'm sorry, one player moves in this particular flip. So this allows you to kind of flip the strength of the play, get yourself a bunch of lead blockers, kind of snap the football and, you know, go. Now right there, obviously nobody blocked, but with that being the user, a lot of times they'll take themselves out of the play. And truth be told, if you catch your opponent kind of usering this way, where they're worried about the inside zone or whatever, there is obviously the fake jet actual give inside zone. So in theory, you could run that if you wanted to. It's a little bit more slowly developing, but it is something that could kind of keep them off their game. But if you catch them kind of offsetting away from the running back, of course, you could always just run, you know, away from their user and give the ball to the tight end, which is, you know, fine as well. So you see in a situation like this, you might go ahead and hand it off and still be able to pick up yardage up the middle. So this is going to be a real pain for them to deal with. Again, naturally, like I said, this will mesh with that fake jet actual give to the running back. I do want to show you why I don't use that as an audible. It's pretty slow developing. It's not that you can't run it. Like I said, it's just that I don't like slowly developing runs. They're too easy to gap shoot or gives time for people to block shed or, you know, whatever. So, you know, if they're worried about the jet sweep, you know, they might be standing here or whatever. You can go ahead and still run, you know, kind of the concept. In this situation, I probably wouldn't actually motion Evans. But you see right there, you know, that's kind of an outside zone give, which is not great, especially if they blitz off the edge. So not great, obviously. You know, if I show it to you the other way, you lose OJ Howard and you see there's nobody to block here. It's just not a great run in general. So that's why I don't really run it unless somebody is really overselling to like the jet sweep or whatever. Like if they're, you know, if they're like all the way over here, that's still no guarantee that you're actually going to be able to run this successfully, because again, nobody's really blocking that player that is, you know, sitting in the backside gap. So ditch that play. I'm not a fan of it, but we can still actually build off of the motion that we used in this play. So anything that you scheme together needs to look the same, right? You want to be able to kind of piece things together and make your opponent not be able to pick any tells off of what you do. If you know, only snap a pass play with a certain alignment, they're going to pick up on that. If you only motion when you're running the jet sweep, they're going to pick up on that. So you want to kind of keep them off balanced. And that's where this play right here, bench, is going to come in. And bench, to me, is one of the better zone drops beaters in this game because you have two routes that are with basically the ability to just quick snap this play with a streak to either side, short side or wide side. You're going to be able to beat zone drops, cover 3, cover 2, cover 4. They're going to have to play match on this play or man up your player. So let's go ahead and show you exactly what I mean here. Obviously, when we talk about zone drops, we don't have them in MUT, but you guys have to remember that 30 yards is the max depth. So when you take a look at these corners, they are very, very, very deep, very, very deep. In particular, the tight end one is really deep. And it doesn't matter which way you flip it. The tight end one is a little bit longer. You see that the tight end, the red route, it breaks basically at the 47. And you see that the wide receiver one breaks at the 48 or the 49. And if you smart route the wide receiver, it shortens it up. So, but either way, both of those routes are still good. Again, the tight end one is going to be a little bit deeper. So, you know, it might be the more consistent zone drops beater of the two. So again, what we're kind of looking at here with this is the fact that 30 yards is the max depth. So right here, the ball's spotted on the 40. That means the opposite 30 is the furthest an underneath zone can drop, whether that's a hook zone, a purple zone, or a cloud flat. So we snap this football, and you're gonna see here that OJ Howard runs all the way over there. Now, you saw right there that the computer matched him, right? You know, obviously, if they're not using a certain way, you know, the computer might match, but most players aren't just going to sit in cover 2 and let a vertical hook match. The truth is, you know, the majority of them are going to sit here and kind of hang around underneath. And unless they run manually with you, it's going to be open. So, you know, when we snap this ball here, without any real motion or whatever, you can still throw this ball. And you see that we went from R40 to the opposite 25. So from the 25 to the 50, that's 25 yards. And then you add another 10 from the 50 to the 40, that's 35. So 35 yards definitely clears a 30-yard blue. And the same could be said on the other side. If I were to go ahead and run it this direction with Y, you're seeing that I could go ahead and throw this to the opposite 29. So we clear that by about 1 yard. So it's a little bit tougher to throw to the short side of the field, I will admit. But the really cool thing about this, obviously, is that this formation allows you to do a lot of motion. So you're going to be able to kind of mix up your underneath route combos. So let's say that, for instance, we do this motion to kind of make it look like our jet touch pass. You know, we've got options for either Godwin or Evans to be the vertical runoff route in this scheme. So when we go ahead and put Evans on a streak, maybe we just run a little bench concept right here. And this gives you a short out breaking route, a pull route, and then a deep corner route, which you're going to be able to throw. Again, you see right there, we picked up 40 yards on that throw in the air to the wide side. So definitely not being picked up by a zone drop at all. And that was against the cover 2 shell. So let's go ahead and run cover 3 now. Again, I highly recommend with this, you know, this play in general, that you make it look just like your jet touch pass. So the motion of Evans, you can put him on the streak, you can put B on the out route. This is just meant to be really simple. Again, you guys are audibling into this most likely. You're not basing out of this as an offense. So again, here you can go ahead and run this X on the pull route, and then you see A, you're just going to throw that out underneath of the deep zone. And we picked up basically 35, 36 yards on that against the cover 3 shell. And last but not least, we're going to run cover 4. And of course, with cover 4, it's going to behave the exact same way. You can motion Evans across, put B on an out route. You could do whatever you want, truthfully, with the underneath. So if you wanted to put B on a flat and then wheel the running back and have like a little wheel throw with 4 routes on that side of the field, that'd actually be really, really nice for you as well. So you see right here, we could throw this ball to Howard on the sideline. You do have the option as well, if you noticed, when you go to that, if you run that setup, no matter what they do with their purple zone, it will match the running back wheel. So let me show that to you again here. On this play, if there's any purple zone, doesn't matter if they have zone drop set or not, I want you to watch this player, Harris. He's going to run with the running back on this play. So I'm going to purposefully not throw to Howard. I want you to watch the running back. He's going to pull that purple zone up the field, and then you're just going to be able to dump this throw down in the flat, and then you turn and run upfield, and a simple flat route is going to gain you 20 yards. So it doesn't matter if they have their Mabel setups with a purple set to, you know, 5 or 0. You're going to be able to throw that flat route routinely, which is really, really good, especially on like a 3rd and short where you might expect them to, you know, play underneath. That's a great way to really manipulate their zone coverage call. Now, I want to get into match. So one thing that a lot of players don't know about match, and we've actually talked about it here before, is when you have a match side, obviously we know that it can actually struggle with you being able to get corners open against match. It's basically the corner defense. And you see right there that if we throw that, it's going to end up being picked by the match coverage. So whether that's cover 4 quarters, palms, cover 6, cover 9, if they have the match cover 4 side to that side of the formation, you really can't just chuck corners with reckless abandon. It doesn't work that way. But what's really, really cool about this motion that we've been using in this jet touch is that when we go to this motion of Evans across the formation, what that does is that creates 4 strong. If you don't know what 4 strong means, 4 strong refers to having 4 passing options, or 4 receiving options is the better way of saying it, to one side of the quarterback with 1 to the backside. Whenever you have 4 strong, match coverage turns off and it turns it into cover 4 drop. So now what ends up happening is that match defense that we were going to run to play that corner can't even play this route combo. So if I were to go ahead and run this here, watch how the cover 4 plays like zone. You see, that was not a match. We threw an inaccurate, but it played zone there. The guy was not waiting for that corner route to break into his area. So again, if you kind of take a look at this here, with the streak, the corner, and the flat, that outside quarter is bailing. It looks like he's in the area to play the corner route, but he is not looking at number 80. He's running away from him. And we had that incomplete pass. Now, just to kind of prove to you what I'm talking about, I'm going to run the same concept, but I'm going to leave the running back on the other side. So I'm going to check into cover 6. I'm going to go ahead and have my match side to the right side of the field, and I'm going to motion Mike Evans across the formation. So again, the same route combo, but no running back to that side. So this is no longer 4 strong. This is bunch. And I want you to watch how match plays this. So when we run this, you're going to see here that A gets matched by the outside corner. That was clearly man match, not zone drop. So there's a big difference in how this behaves when you have 3 guys to one side of the field running this route combo versus 4. And the running back doesn't even honestly have to be on a route. Just the presence of 4 guys to one side of the field turns match coverage into zone, which means that you're now going to be able to throw the route to A, which kind of pinball around a little bit, but you would have been able to throw that pretty easily. Let's go ahead and do that again here. I'm going to call match. I'll make sure I flip it to that side. There we go. So now again, if you run B on a streak, X on a flat, whatever, the running back being over there turns this into match coverage, and you're just going to be looking to throw your tight end out here underneath. And we're getting shed a lot, but clearly you can see that it's zone. So one thing you can do as well with this concept is you don't need the route to break super deep. You can smart route it down and just kind of run it, so it breaks sooner. That way you're not waiting so long for it to do that. So again, 4 strong here in this example. Let me go ahead and spy off the rush, since they try to ruin every practice mode video you ever do in Madden.
Oh, it'll happen again, son.
Again here, 4 strong, but only 3 guys running routes. You're going to see this turn into zone. And again, watch that A route. It's open. You just throw it. I don't know why it is. That's just the buggy zone rules in this game. So you can use this formation to create a match buster with a simple motion, which is really, really cool. Now, that's going to take us into our final play of this mini scheme. If you guys are enjoying this video, make sure you guys hit that like button for me. I know that we're deep into this video, and I'm sorry to Jimmy, my editor, for having to make you edit a long video here today.
Pissing our pants yet? Boy, do I have a feeling we're getting close.
We're going to go ahead and show you our spacing concept. So with this particular play, we're going to run wide receiver sticking out. And you want the running back to the wide side of the field. So rather than doing anything kind of crazy here, I'm just going to put the ball over there so the running back is to the wide side of the field pre-snap. I don't have to flip it every play. Let's start off with this. This is mainly a cover 3, cover 4 beater. So when you audible into wide receiver sticking out, the only adjustment I would make is putting the running back on a swing yourself. I like this swing route. And really, you can kind of do whatever you want here. I mean, if you wanted to go X on a flat and then Y on a hitch, you could actually go ahead and do that. Or you could go ahead and go Y on a flat, X on a curl, and do it that way. But this is basically designed to be an underneath manipulation. You're going to basically read this and take, either the curl to the tight end, or you're going to throw the running back as it wheels up the sideline. Now, this is where it's important to talk about short side, wide side. Curl flats tend to jump the tight end curl and leave the swing route open. So I made the wrong read in this example. You see right here that he jumps down on this. It looked like he was baiting the swing and then he peeled back to this. And that's why I read that and I threw that incorrectly. But again, you're gonna see here that this swing route actually wheels up the sideline, which is really, really good. So let's go ahead and show that to you here. So we go something that looks like this. Oh, let me choose the right play. Go something that looks like this here on this setup. And then just understanding that the running back wheel is going to get there, or it's going to swing. You see how you get that ball into the sideline right there. So this is a really, really, really sneaky setup that you guys can run on like 3rd and short, 4th and short. You know, if you expect them to be playing, you know, zones underneath, this is a really, really solid setup. And again, you don't necessarily have to do anything too crazy with this. You know, just whatever you want for your route combo on the backside. And then again, you see here that you know, this time you'd throw the tight end right there. He didn't animate or whatever, but he was open, right? And then of course you have the ability as well with this scheme to also you can kind of motion the running back out. This will help you with this particular concept, and you're going to be able to kind of stretch the zones. So if you wanted to go ahead and put the running back in motion, you could then put him on like a hitch or whatever, and then put the tight end on a flat. That'll sometimes help you with you know, your spacing against cover 3 as well. So, you know, you might snap this and then kind of read it and then throw the ball to right bumper. That's something you could do as well. Kind of keep it empty, you know, kind of an empty bunch tight look to kind of maximize it that way. Now, last but not least, this is going to be, you know, kind of just a random play. You do have this cross flood play. It's not great because the crosser kind of breaks a little bit too shallow, but what I think is kind of cool about this is that you have this delay fade to the tight end, or I'm sorry, delay flat to the tight end. That can kind of help sometimes with, you know, blocking against your pinch 2 meta. You know, if you get somebody that likes to run their pinch 2 and then baseline and, you know, move this guy, you know, this guy's out there off the edge, you can kind of just get a chip on him. It might help you out a little bit and just give you somebody that's available. You see right there, he blocks and then releases into the flat. You know, that's kind of cool against that stock setup. Gives you an open tight end there in the flat. Whereas a lot of the other delay routes in the game automatically release now after the most recent title update. But in terms of this play being a zone beater, I just threw it in there just because it's kind of like, it's got a crosser. You know, you don't have to have a hot route master to, you know, run this. It is a little bit shallow, like I mentioned, but you know, there's still some value to being able to run a street or a flooding concept that looks like this. You know, that's enough yardage. It's almost 25 yards. But there's a solid chance that they're going to have a zone set to that area of the field. So just kind of pay attention to it. Obviously, it's not something that I'm a major, you know, I don't run this a ton. You know, you could probably set up some goofy looking post setups where this route bends back over the middle, maybe mesh it underneath, stuff like this, just to get you some action over the middle. Not necessarily the worst thing in the world to have something like that in your arsenal as well. But again, just depending on what they're running, you know, you might run that play once every few games. But in general, I think you guys are going to stick to the jet touch. Then obviously the bench setup, which is huge yardage, unless they man up those guys. And then obviously those other 2 setups are just kind of sprinkled in for, you know, situational use. But I hope you guys liked today's video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, drop those below as well. Always like to hear from you guys in the comment section. And we'll see you guys tomorrow with our next video upload. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lab and good luck.